Look, don't shoot me. I'm just a messenger. Now, let me ask you a quick question. Have you ever noticed that the people you grew up with, the ones that seen you struggle, whether it be your friends, family members, or even your hometown, these people be the last ones to help you celebrate your success. It's like the ones who barely know your story believe in you, while the ones who actually seen you go through the process and seen you go through your mistakes don't. Well, you're probably wondering, why does this happen in life? And how can God change this into a promotion? Well, stick with me because this is not only biblical, this is life changing. If you look at Mark 6:4, it says, "And Jesus said to them, a prophet is honored everywhere except for his hometown and among his relatives and his own family." You see, Jesus is teaching a spiritual principle. What he's saying is that the people who should be honoring you often don't. But the good news is that it doesn't stop God from elevating you. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is dealing with the low seasons in our life. Now, a low season is a private time in your life where God begins to humble you and reshape your character. It's like a rebuilding phase in your life. Now, these can consist of things like losing money, sustaining an injury, going to jail, breaking up, losing a loved one, etc. You'll know you're in your low season when you feel overlooked or unrecognized. People won't understand your growth process and the wiser decisions you'll make in order to develop new character. This is when your efforts seem to go unseen and your financial or limitations on resources test your patience. For example, for me, my low seasons were struggling with distractions such as smoking weed excessively or lusting outside of my marriage. But guess how amazing God is? He used that same selfish desire to purify my heart and build discipline in me. Now, it was my will, I had to make that choice, but he gave me mercy and opportunity, space and opportunity. You see, low seasons are preparation, they are not punishment. It's God training the anointment to flow on you. Now, the second thing I want to talk about are small rooms. Now, what are small rooms? Small rooms are environments or relationships that are too limited for your calling. People who know you or who are familiar with you, they may resist your growth because it makes them uncomfortable. Look, a particular job, city, or circle can limit your vision and influence. Even your mindset can be a small room if fear keeps you stuck. For example, prison in the pit was Joseph's small room before Pharaoh's palace. Shepherd life was David's small room before being king of Israel. Your hometown or old circle might not see your anointing. Always remember, small rooms cannot contain big oil. So what God would do is relocate you to spaces that's going to match your destiny. All right, now the third thing I want to talk about is carrying vision and spiritual authority. Now, when I say carry a vision, what I mean by that is seeing the future that God has for you before it even exists. This is when you're going to feel restless and comfort zone because you know God got so much for you. This is when you think long term beyond what people expect of you. For example, for me, like the vision that I'm carrying, I would like my barber career, my fitness lifestyle, and my spiritual influence to impact people's lives, not just make money. Now, spiritual authority is when your life is aligned up with God's will and heaven is backing your voice, your presence, and your words. You'll know you have spiritual authority because people respond differently when you speak, when you pray, or even when you enter a room. Doors open, opportunities present themselves, atmospheres shift, and wisdom guides all the outcomes. So the lesson in this is vision plus authority equals capacity to lead and transform lives. All right, let's talk a little bit about anointing. Now, anointing means God has placed favor and power on your life for his purpose, meaning your words, your prayers, and your presence carry weight, and your life is marked and separated for influence. For example, you feel a weight in your heart when people are broken, stuck, confused, or drifting. And something in you want to help so bad, even if nobody is watching. Meaning you are not driven by applauses, clout, or being known. These temporal things, they might seem nice, but they don't satisfy you. All right, now the fifth thing I want to talk about is leaving the familiar behind. I'm sorry, got to. And I say that because familiar people can't and often don't want to see your new season. They're spiritually blinded because they would judge you by your past. They resist your calling, not necessarily out of hate, but because it's easier for them to stay attached to the old self. For example, strangers and mentors validate your calling, but friends that you had close connections with or came up with, they remain skeptical. Yes, I know it's unfortunate, but it is life. So the lesson in this is don't argue with small rooms. Just trust God's relocation. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, and this is probably what everybody was waiting for, promotion. Now, promotion is when God is elevating you to a bigger room with new responsibilities and greater influence. Now, I'm telling you now, promotion will not always be recognized from people of your past. You see, before God promotes you, he usually takes you through a low season, and then he requires you to leave a small room. Because promotion is the reward of obedience and preparation. If this message blessed you, comment, I receive it. Make sure you like this video and share this with someone whose calling is being resisted. And press that subscribe button for more teachings on spiritual growth and finding your destiny. As always, I hope this message helped at least one person. I will be back at you again tomorrow with another one. Until then, I need you to keep your head on a swivel. Love yourself and only help who wants to be helped. I love y'all. I'm out.